So how does this movie exist? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And yeah, my question in the cold opening stands. How does this movie happen? It's got to be a prequel, right? Or something like that, because everyone died in the second movie. Leatherface, the entire family, they all died. So unless this is like some kind of prequel or some kind of like, oh, Leatherface is a title and there's just someone new under the mask. Unless it's something like that, I don't know. Because otherwise, how else would you justify this being made? Now I know that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies have a like second continuity, but I don't think that starts until much later. Um so I don't think this has anything to do with that. But I'm just very curious as to where this is going to go. If it is a prequel, then we should see the other family members back, including Chop Top, right? Um I don't know. I just don't know. But it has been over a year since we reacted to the second one. I know, it's surprising it's been that long. It was the end of April of 2024 when we reacted to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which I believe was much better than the first. I don't know how popular or unpopular an opinion that is. I never really looked it up. Um, but I believe that the first one is honestly kind of a letdown. And maybe that's because of how people have hyped it up to me, but it really wasn't that gruesome or scary in any ways. For a movie that was like lauded as being like so like intensely like freaky and um gory and shit, it's like it just wasn't. It just wasn't. It barely had any of that kind of stuff in it. And honestly, like it's not that interesting in its presentation, its writing, etc. It was like honestly one of those classic horror films that I believe are only popular because of nostalgia at this point. Because if you actually go back and watch them, and especially compared to how horror movies are nowadays, they just don't hold up. Of course, that is just my opinion too. But the second movie was really good. The second movie was really good. I enjoyed that one a lot more. I feel like it had a lot more to offer in terms of creativity, in terms of kills, in terms of just really interesting scenes. The characters were much better. Bill Moseley as Chop Top alone is worth the movie. like, like Bill Moseley, though, to be fair, is fantastic in pretty much everything I've seen him in. So that's not really a surprise. But it was just better overall, in my opinion. It like did everything right that the first movie just didn't do. Like I can't even say did wrong because it just didn't do it. And it wasn't perfect by any means, but I enjoyed it like a lot more, significantly more than the first. And I'm honestly hoping that the trend continues. Like I would love for this to be another one that just gets better. And I want to make clear here, I'm not just saying that the second one is better and I'm hoping that they continue to get better just because like, oh, older movies suck or some stupid thing like that because anyone who knows me at this point knows that I don't believe that. My favorite movie of all time is from the 50s, 12 Angry Men. I absolutely loved Night of the Living Dead. And that's older too. And it's like it's not an age thing. It's just I don't think the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre is that good. It's just a matter of the film, of the writing, the character work. For it being a horror film, you have to take into account the scares and like, effects and everything. I just don't think it was that good. And I always hope for movies to be better than the last ones in terms of a series and all. Whenever I'm watching a series of films, I always want them to one up each other. It rarely happens that it consistently does so, but I always want that because I always want everything I watch to be really, really good. I always want to be, excited after watching something because I loved it so much. And sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. It's kind of up in the air. Of course, it's also up in the air because my taste in films and stuff tends to be very all over the place. So it's like, oh, I really like this one movie, but then there's this movie that's kind of similar that I just didn't like whatsoever. And it's like I can never tell if I'm going to like something. But the thing is, I'm always going to be honest with you guys. I'm always going to be completely honest, and I'm going to tell you what I genuinely think. If I don't like a movie, I don't like a movie, and there's nothing I can do about that. Like, you got to realize, too, it's like if I like or dislike a film, it's mainly like based on my feelings towards it after watching. It's not going to be changed by you pointing out things about the film or by me looking up things about the film. That'll make me appreciate the filmmaking more, which is cool, but it won't make me like the film more or less in some cases. Because there are definitely movies that I like a lot more than the general public. The 2016 Suicide Squad is a great example of that. I love that movie. I think it's a fantastic film. General public does not agree with me on that. But point is that I'm hoping this third film is even better for me than the second. I want it to impress me even more. I want to be more excited by it. And I definitely think the kills and the gore effects and stuff will definitely continue to increase because that just is a thing of horror movies over time. Although Night of the Living Dead did do really good gore effects and stuff for as old as it is. Like that movie really did, and that movie is older than the first Texas Chainsaw, right? So that's even more surprising that people hail the Texas Chainsaw as this like gruesome, gory film, and it's like it's just not. But they don't like talk about the same quite because that's not what they talk about with Night of the Living Dead. They talk about great things about that movie, but it's not about the gore effects and stuff. But the gore effects in that film are fantastic, actually. So it's like they should be talking about it with that film rather than TCM one. It's just like that would make so much more sense. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to expect from this because again, they're supposed to be dead, so I don't know. I don't know if this is a prequel. I don't know if it is just going to be new characters like taking over the mask or something. Like maybe like other members of the family have come back and are now taking over or something. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's just get into this and hope for the best. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I was looking it up to try and figure out how Leatherface could have survived at the end of the second film and been here and who this new family would be. I was not getting a lot of concrete answers. It seems like a lot of fans are just kind of confused by the timeline and shit as well. And a lot of them seem to be like considering this almost like a soft reboot or a sequel of sorts to the first film, kind of ignoring the events of the second film. Which the crawl at the beginning could support. It could support that it just ignores the second film altogether. But I feel like there's aspects of the second film in this though, so I don't know. Um, but the family is completely different from any of the others we've seen, which I mean, it's possible there just could be a lot more members of the family just around Texas, so that's not altogether out of the question. That part doesn't really like confuse me as much. It's more of just Leatherface being there. Like if he's supposed to be the same Leatherface. But from what I saw with the timelines, the original timeline is the first four movies in order. So I don't know. Because otherwise it's like I don't know how four is gonna go, and obviously don't spoil that for me, but otherwise it kind of seems like this is like almost a split in the timeline. It's like it's a completely separate part. So it's really weird. And it's even more confusing because apparently it was confirmed in the DVD commentary. There's this female reporter who's shown like very early on in this movie. Um she's shown for like a split second. And it's confirmed in the DVD commentary she's Stretch from TCM2. So that makes it even more confusing. She's the survivor, the sole survivor of TCM2. The girl who was like who waved around the chainsaw and was everything sort of like Leatherface at the end of the last film. It's the same actress, and it's been confirmed in the DVD commentary. It's the same character. Like she's now a reporter and everything, and she was a radio DJ before. It's like, okay, if that's the same character, then TCM2 has to have it happened. So we're just supposed to assume that somehow Leatherface survived? Because didn't he get impaled? I'm really confused by this. I feel like this really messes with the canon and the timeline and everything. But it's because the thing is, if it's supposed to be like a soft reboot, if it's supposed to follow the first movie but not the second, why is a character from the second confirmed to be this character in this? Her existence has to confirm that this takes place after two. Yet the opening crawl only mentions the events of the first film. And if this takes place after two, how is Leatherface alive? I don't understand. I am so confused by this entire situation. It's just, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. But just going off the movie, let's just say we're like just taking it at face value just as its own thing. It was okay, I guess. It was better than the first movie, but not as good as the second. Um One issue I have with this was really short. Like this movie is only with credits an hour and 25 minutes long. That's really short. Um on top of that, it feels like we didn't get to know any of the characters well enough before shit started hitting the fan in order to care about them. I don't care about any of the characters in this. The only one who I even slightly cared about was Ken Faree's character, I guess, and only because he was cool. It's like our main duo, the guy and the girl, Ryan and I can't remember her name, Michelle maybe. Uh, I know nothing. Like I don't care about them. I have no reason to care about them. In fact, Ryan was kind of an asshole. I definitely don't care about him. Michelle wasn't that much better either. They were both kind of dicks. So it's like Why am I supposed to care about what they're going through? There's the girl who we saw at the beginning, the survivor of, I guess, the last massacre that we didn't see. Um, but it's like, she didn't really matter. Let's be completely honest here. She was barely a character. It's like, it felt like so unfinished. It felt like they had an idea here and they just didn't have the budget to make it like to fully flesh anything out. And so they just kind of relied on the kills. The tension and the kills. They also like obviously went with the entire shit with the family and everything. Um so it's weird, it's wild. Also, another thing connecting to the second film, Grandpa Sawyer, he's dead in this. Like, it's just his corpse at this point, right? So, and he died in the second movie, right? Because he was somehow still alive prior to that. So it's like the continuity with that also kind of confuses me, or rather adds to the confusion. It's just I don't know. I just feel like not enough was put into trying to make this make sense with the previous film. I don't know if they originally planned to make a third film. Maybe that like is part of the issue. It's like, oh, they were gonna finish after number two, but then it got so popular. It's like they were kind of coerced into making a third, and they had to just figure something out. Because again, everyone except Stretch died at the end of the second film. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it just doesn't feel as like well put together as the second film did. It doesn't feel like there's as much effort put into like understanding and caring about these characters. The second film was just so good. It was so good. And it feels like this just they didn't do enough to try and make it live up to it. And there was definitely a lot more um intensity than the first film, but that's not saying much. But it just even the like kills and stuff didn't match up to the second film, I feel. I just feel like the second film really got it right. And at least for this one, they just really weren't able to recover from that. And the time might be part of it. Let me check something here. Cause I want to see exactly how long the second film was. TCM 2. Yeah, the second film was like or not 2 hours. Wow, yeah, 2 hours. No, 20 minutes longer than this one. It was about an hour and 40 minutes. And as for the first one, no, not Turner Classic Movies. Okay, so the first one was short too. The first one was about the same length as this one. Maybe that's a part of it too then. Maybe the length being so short with the first and the third just doesn't give them enough time to really set up enough and build up enough. But even the first built up the characters better than this one did. That's the one thing I will give the first over this one, that it built up the characters more. I also feel like in terms of the family, the characters are just kind of thrown in. They don't like feel as like interesting or intentional as they did in the second film. Um, the most interesting character is the girl, the little girl, who I guess is supposed to be like it's implied to be Leatherface's kid, actually. Um, because it's like it goes out of the way to talk about Leatherface like having done stuff with another female victim and everything. So I assume this is supposed to be another kid or his kid. That's interesting. That's fascinating. but it doesn't go into it enough. And we have no idea what the fuck happens to her. We have no idea what happens to the truck driver, the one guy with the like one arm who gets his fingers blown off in his ear. No idea what the fuck happens to him. The mother dies. The grandpa's body is blown to bits. Viggo Mortensen's character dies. He's burned alive. The gas guy is killed. Leatherface, we know, survives. So do we just assume that the little girl just... What happened to her? Apparently there's an answer. Apparently there is a... there's a deleted alternate ending. And I didn't see here. This was when I was looking up. Let me try to get this back up again. But there's apparently an alternate ending that actually answers this question. Let me see if I can find it here. Here we go. So in the alternate ending, Leatherface does kill Benny, a Ken Free's character, in the bog. Tex actually survived the being set on fire initially. He then gets killed. Michelle attacks and seemingly kills Leatherface. And the next day, it goes to the next day again, where she's, going down the road and all. We actually see a police car drive past. The car apparently stops to reveal that the little girl was retrieved from the house. She taunts Michelle from the back seat with her skeleton doll before the car drives off. I don't know why it would have stopped and then drove off, leaving her, covered in blood and everything standing around. But, Michelle then is seen kneeling on the ground, laughing in hysterics and everything as she realizes that the sadistic Sawyer clan will never really die off. So this one doesn't even have Leatherface coming back in the end, and it's kind of assumed that she kills Leatherface. The funny thing is this alternate ending outside of Benny dying and everything in the bog actually sounds better than the actual ending we got. Because it answers the question of what ends up happening to the girl. It doesn't answer everything because we still don't know what happened to the one guy with, again, the fake arm and who got all of his body parts blown off. It doesn't answer that. Do we assume he just died? But it also shows a little something more at the end and everything. I mean, I guess there's some positives to the alternate ending and some negatives. It doesn't answer everything. It leaves a lot of things left still pretty confusing. But I feel like it's better than what we actually got. Just overall. Because no matter what, it's going to be an unsatisfying ending. And I just think it's better than the one we got. I feel like the one we got is just not that great. And just how things went in this movie, not that great. There's a lot of issues I have with it, a lot of things that just don't make sense to me, and just so many things that are left unanswered. Plus, again, the connection with the previous movies is confusing and weird. And from what I've seen, again, not it seems like even the fans can't make up their mind and figure out exactly what happened or how he survived or whatever. Some are saying, like I said, some are saying it's a soft reboot, but that doesn't make sense because, we know it can't be because character from the second film specifically is in this. The only survivor from the second film. So it's just and this, again, this was confirmed on the DVD extras and all. The DVD commentary. And it's the same actress and everything. So, and mind you, it's a tiny little cameo in this movie, but still. This movie just... It wasn't good. And it's really disappointing after how good the second one was. The second one was actually really good. Was actually surprisingly good. Not the best horror movie out there, but definitely the best of these Texas Chainsaw movies so far. I'd still say overall this one was more entertaining than the first movie, a lot more fun to watch. The second movie or the first movie just did build up the characters a little better than this one. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Also, last thing, why was this specifically called Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3? He didn't have any bigger of a role compared to the previous movies. He had the same amount of role as like he did in the previous. In fact, actually, I would say he had a bigger role in the second movie. He felt bigger and more of like a character. But I mean, just in general, everyone felt like more of a character. Um, it didn't feel like this movie was like especially about him or anything. So it just feels weird to just specifically title it after him. I know he's the icon of the series. I understand that it's all about iconography, but I just feel like the addition of his name as the first part of the title just is needless. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Um, but that's just me. Either way, like I said, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this film, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Venom for donating. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.